Okay, this is our third lesson in my basic video course about editing video in Final Cut Pro, and today we will talk about importing media in Final Cut. As you remember, in the second lesson of this video course we was talking about libraries. We made two libraries in Final Cut, and we was talking about events and projects, and we made many projects in this and that event, but we don't have any media to edit in Final Cut because we haven't imported it yet, and let's do that. We have two ways to import media in Final Cut. First way, with using window media import, and the second way is drag and drop using your mouse or trackpad. And we will talk about both of them. First, I want to say that you can import media. We will talk about the first way, using media import window, how we can open it. First way, if you don't have any projects and media in your event, you have icon import media, and if you click to this icon, window media import will be opened. This is the first way. The second way, you can use menu command file import media, and the third way, and I prefer, as you know, I prefer working with hotkeys, and hotkey to open media import window is Command I. But first you should choose this or that event in what you want to import media. For example, I want to edit video about watches. I select this event, and then I press Command I to open media import window to select media that I want to import. And I have SD card inserted in my Mac, and all your SD cards you can see in cameras block. Your devices, for example, hard drives, NAS, and you can have here in devices block, and you can add you can add some folders of your computer to block favorites. And we have here only two things, desktop and pattern serg, and here you can see you can add every folder as you want to have fast way to open it. Let's try to discuss how we can import media from SD card. As you know, I have inserted SD card, and if I choose it, I can see all media and just now all videos, because in default you have chosen videos block here, and you can see only media videos here. But if you want to import, for example, images, you should select photos, and you can see photos and other pictures that you have in your SD card. And if you want to see all clips, videos and photos, you can choose this thing here, but we just now will discuss only videos, import video clips. And you can see that it is icon view of your media, but you can change it to list view if it's better for you by clicking this icon. And just now we have list view, and you can sort your media by, for example, content created or file type or size or other things. And you can choose not all clips that you want from this SD card, but you can select, for example, only one clip to import, or by pressing Command key you can choose these, so these, and for example these media to import without any other. And if you want to import block of clips, for example from this to this clip, you should press Shift button and select first clip and the last clip to import. So then we can another things to set. You can change it. The important thing is waveforms. Why we can choose waveforms or but I think you noticed that if we have list view, we don't have a lot of settings to set. We have only waveforms and hide imported clips. But if I change view to icon view, I have here more settings, and I can make my icons more or less, and you can do that with command, but not this, but this thing. You can make your icons longer, for example, and here you can see time. Just now it is 2 minutes. It means that every 2 minutes, you can see here, every 2 minutes in your clip you can see icon of your clip, thumbnail. For example, this is for 2 minutes, and this is for another 2 minutes. If I choose it, for example, to 1 minute, my thumbnails are every 1 minute. For example, this 1 minute, this 1 minute, this 1 minute, this 1 minute, and if I increase this parameter, my clips looks longer, but the duration, of course, doesn't change. And you can change this parameter by pressing command plus command and command minus command. And if you want every media to be only one icon, you should press Shift Z hotkey, and I think it's useful sometimes. Let's discuss waveforms. If you choose this parameter, you can see if you have any sound in your video, you can see this in icon view and in the list view. But if your computer is not modern, for example, you have Mac Mini 2009, and your computer is weak, because it needs some computer power to display to display waveforms. But if you have a weak computer, you don't need to check on this parameter, and I advise you check it off. And if you have imported some clips before, you can hide imported clips or show them. But if you have any imported clips and you can see them here, you can have white line in the bottom of clip, and it means that clip was imported before, and you should think, do you want to import it again, or you don't want. Let's try to do this thing, and we will discuss about these settings a little bit later, but I want to show you white line when the clip has been imported. Let's try, for example, import this clip. I set imported selected, import complete. You can see this clip here, and if I press Command I button again, you can see it's strange thing, but you should see white line here. I don't know why it doesn't display here. But if I press here, hide imported clips, we can see that clip that we have imported just now. Okay, then I want to say 2 words about create archive. If you want to create backup of your SD card with all folders, with all structure that you have in your SD card, to create to create an archive of your SD card, if it is important for you, if material is important for you, you can click create archive, and Final Cut will ask you where you want to save this archive. For example, I want to save it at my desktop, and let's try to create it. It doesn't take too long to do that, because my SD card is not so big, but you can see how my archive is creating. But while it is creating, I want to tell about other settings here. Okay, here we can see and we can change this or that event in that we want to import our material, and if you want to change it, you can do it here. If you want to create new archive, you can click here and choose the library. Just now we have John library opened here, and if you want to import your material in other library, you can choose it here, and you can make other event, and you can make name of a new event that will be created. Okay, we have our archive created. Let's try to watch what is it. This is a file. It is called no name in my way, but this is not file. This is bundle. This is like folder. We can open it and watch what we have in it by pressing right button and show. I think you have here menu command show bundle package or show contain package or something this. Let's try to do that, and you can see all folders that you had in your SD card, and of course you have original media here in these folders, and this is a backup of your SD card without any changing in structure of SD card. So let's continue with the settings of this window, and first setting, but maybe not first. This first, this second. I think this is third setting. Copy to library or leave files in place. If you and I want to tell you one more thing about imported. If I want to import not the whole clip from my SD card, but only part of the clip, I should do this thing. I can select by pressing I, by pressing, for example, by pressing I and O button. You can see selected part of my whole clip, and only this part will be imported without any other. But if I want to import another, the second part and the third part, I should press Command Shift I button. This is the start of the second part, and to set the end of the second part you should press Command Shift O button, and just now we have two parts of my whole big clip, and only these parts will be imported. Of course, you want, if you want, you can select the third part by pressing Command Shift I, Command Shift O button, and other. But if you import your material from not from SD card, but for example from desktop, from your hard drive, you can select, you can't select any part of your clip. It will be imported. It will be imported. All clip will be imported. You can't select it by pressing I and O. Or you can select part by pressing, for example, Shift and click, but it doesn't mean nothing. It means nothing, because if you import material from your hard drive, it doesn't mean that you select a part from this clip. It will be imported. The whole clip will be imported, but you can select part only when you import materials from your SD card. And if you import material from your hard drive, you don't have a lot settings to set. You can change view of these things. You can change it to icon view. You have only list view, and here you have here only waveforms to select or to not select. You can change size of your icons here. You can't change length of icons here, and as I said, if you want, you can add here to favorites block your folder that you want to use another time. It's simple. You can drag and drop it to here, to favorites block, and for example, if you are here in any other folder and to open your folder, your favorite folder, you just press here, and here it is. Your folder is opened. Okay, and let's proceed with our settings. Okay, files, copy to library or leave files in place. I advise you to use this thing, copy to library every time. And I use these settings every time. Why? Because, for example, I have a client who send me materials by clouds, for example, Google Disk, and I have another material to this video. For example, I downloaded something from internet, and these files are in my download folder, and maybe some materials for this video are on my desktop, or maybe on the flash drive or SD card, and I have many files all over my computer, and if I don't do that, if I don't copy these materials to library, I should remember that I don't need to delete them, for example, from my desktop, because these files are using in Final Cut. But if I copy these files to library, I can delete it from Google Disk, Google Drive, from my desktop, from my downloads folder, because all my source media are in library, and I don't need them anywhere else. And I think it's useful and it's comfortable to use this thing. But you can, if you, for example, import material from your desktop or your hard drive, you can choose another thing, leave files in place. It means that you will not copy your source media to library folder. It will stay, it will leave where it is. For example, it is on my desktop. This file is on my desktop in my video folder, and if I choose leave files in place, and when I import this material to Final Cut, it will be here. It will be here. It will not be copied to my library, and we will try to do that, and I want you to see the difference between this and that way. But if you import materials from SD card, you can choose leave files in place. You can only copy these files to library, and it's useful because if you want to delete something from your SD card, and if you had opportunity, if you have a chance to leave files in place, for example, and if you delete something from your SD card, you can't continue, you can't proceed your editing because you delete your source from your SD card, and we don't have this chance, and that's good. We can only copy these files in library. I think you understand what is the difference, but we will discuss it a little bit later. I can show you, I want to show you the difference between these things. So keywords, what does it mean, keywords? If you want to, if you, for example, you have any structure of folders in your computer, on your hard drive, with videos that you selected, that you structured with folders, you can do for example, I have a folder, my video, on my desktop, and if I want to have my video keyword collection in Final Cut, in my library, in my event, you can check this thing from folders, and you will have my video keyword collection in your event. We will see what it means. And as you know, every file in Mac can have Finder tags. I can show you this thing. For example, if you press it by right click button and properties, you can choose here properties. You can see that you have filled with tags, and you can add here tags. For example, mountain. You have here, just now you have here Finder tag mountain, and if you want, if you have a lot of files with these tags, you can group them and you can make keyword collection from Finder tags. But I don't want to do that. Let's check out this thing. Next block is analyze video. I don't want you to choose these things before you import your material, because it will be better if you first will import your video in Final Cut, then you can see your sources, and if you want, you can balance color, you can find people or do other things with videos by yourself after you watch your videos. And while files are importing, you don't need to do that. I don't advise you to do this thing. So, and it was about this block and this block. Analyze audio, we can fix any audio problems, but first of all, I think that it's better to import material than listen to it and decide, should we fix audio problems or we don't have any audio problems after we after we listened the material. Don't check any of these settings. This thing is very important, and sometimes it's hard to understand, and I will try to explain to you what does it mean transcode. Let's try with this thing first. Create optimized media. What does it mean optimized media, and what does it mean unoptimized media? For example, when you shoot your video with your smartphone or with your camera, usually you have your videos in codec H264. This is common codec. Just now we have another popular codec, HEVC, and it calls 265 codec, but these codecs are view codecs because their goal is to make file less, to make size of file less, and to have more space to record on your flash card, for example. And it's not good for working with editing, because I want to show you by paper sheet. When you, for example, you have your material like a paper sheet, and if you shoot it to your camera in codec H264, this codec compress your video, and this is not editing codec. This is only view codec to have less size. You can see this size is less than the whole sheet, but it's hard to Final Cut to read something. I can't read anything on this compressed thing, and Final Cut have to decompress, to expand this crumpled paper, this compressed paper, to read something. And this format called Apple ProRes. Apple ProRes is decompressed format. This format is for editing. For Final Cut, it's easy to read something in expanded paper than on the crumpled paper. And if you have weak computer, if we don't have enough power in our computer, we should create optimized media. But optimized media is a copy of your source media, and it have to have more space to have, because it's double copy. It's copy of your sources, and this copy optimized media is more size of optimized media more than your compressed media. So if you don't have any problems with reading, if you have a modern computer and you don't have any issues with playing your compressed video in codec H264, don't do optimized media. We will not do them. But what does it mean the second thing, create proxy media? Proxy media we can do in two formats. ProRes proxy, as you can remember, I said that decompressed format is Apple ProRes, and this format is big. The file will be very big. If we create proxy media, this format is ProRes proxy. What is the difference between Apple ProRes and Apple ProRes proxy? Apple ProRes proxy is uncompressed format, but it not just uncompressed, but it the resolution of this format will be smaller. For example, in four times. It is more simple to Final Cut to play decompressed video, and the resolution of the video is less in 4 times, like this thing, and we can choose, for example, 50% height and width will be divided in 2 times, 50%. For example, if we have our source in 90 20, and if we divide it by 50% or 2 times, we have only 960 width. And this thing is about height too. If we have, for example, height 1080 and we will divide it by 2, we have 540 resolution of our video, and the whole resolution of this proxy media will be 960 by 540. Don't see to this thing, see only here. And of course it's more simple to Final Cut to play this small thing, this uncompressed small thing. And for example, if you have 4K video, you can do ProRes proxy with 50% or 25% or maybe 20.5% to make files smaller by resolution. But file size, not file resolution, file size in 50% will be bigger than your source, because file is decompressed. It's not compressed like your source video. It is decompressed, and its size is more than your source. And we can of course it's good for weak computers, it's good if you work with 4K resolution, and I think it's good to use proxy media, but but it's better to make proxy media after importing, not just while import, not just now, but I advise you to make proxy media after you import video, after you try to play it, and if you don't have any issues, you don't need to make proxy media. And if you have these issues, you should try to do that. And as I said, proxy media in ProRes proxy format, this is decompressed format, have these files have big size. But if you want to have less size, if you, for example, have a little bit free space on your drive, you should. It will be better for you to choose H264 format to have proxy in this format. What is the difference? The resolution will be smaller in 50%, 25%, but file will not be expand. It will be compressed. It will be compressed by it, but the resolution will be smaller. It's more simple to Final Cut to play small resolution, but it's not good to him, as I said, to play compressed format. It's better to have proxy in ProRes proxy codec. Then you can choose it if only you have very small space to keep your proxy media files. But As I said, you don't need to do this thing just now. It's better to create proxy if you need it after importing. Let's check out this thing, assign audio roles. I think it is not useful for you to just now to know about roles, because roles is for professional editors who has a lot audio in their timeline, and they can separate. They should separate this audio from that audio, and they can. But I use it too. I use roles in my video editing, but. Some recorders, for example, some types of Zoom recorder, they can assign XML. They can assign roles in their recorder, and if you import this audio from that recorders, you can take that data about roles and import this data by XML to your Final Cut. But I think you don't need it just now if you are a beginner and if you don't work with a lot of voices, a lot of sounds in your timeline. But it's good to know what does it mean. And the second thing, close window after starting import. It's better to have this thing to be checked, and if we click import selected, this media import window will be closed and import will begin. And let's try to import, for example, in our John library to event watch, to existing event watch. We can. I want to import these and these files. Let's try to do that, and we will copy them to library. Let's try to import selected. As you can see here, our import started, and if you click here, you can see your background tasks, and you can open importing media tasks, and you can see what file is importing now. And you can open this thing, background task, by pressing Command 9 hotkey. And as you can see, we have some clips imported in Final Cut. And I want to import one thing from my hard drive, not from SD card, but from hard drive. Let's try to do that. I press Command I button to select my video. This is favorite folder. I choose this thing, but just now I want to leave this file in this place. I don't want to import it to library. I press this thing here, leave files in place. Let's import all files, but it just only one file. And this file is small, and it imported by 2 seconds. So just now I want you to know where our files are now. Let's try to find out this information. Right-click to our clip and then press Reveal in Finder to view where this original media, where is our source, and we have our library opened, as you can see, library John. But let's go, for example, to our library, because I want to show you something. Let's go right click, reveal in Finder. I have my library shown in my Finder. Then right click to John, show package content. Then, as you can see, we have watch this folder here, and this is the event watch. And if we go into this folder, we can see the folder with name original media. In this folder, we have copies of our sources. Let's open this folder just now, and as you can see, we have our sources, and as you can see the size of this folder, of these files, we have, this is source files, copies of source files. But here we can have a file like 55 bytes, because it's not original media. As you remember, these files we left in the place in our desktop, but this is only link to our file that is the source of this file is on my desktop. To see this file, I should press here and show original. I think in English it will be in your computer it will be show original, and you can see that this files is on my desktop. This is original media, and in our library we have only link to it. But if we copy files in place, we have original media here in library, and it's useful because if you have your own all your media imported in a library, you can move library to your flash card, to your another computer, and you can open it there, and all your sources, all your files will be there, and this is very useful, and I think that's it for this video. And in other video I want to show you another way to import materials in Final Cut, and it will be short video, but I think we will meet in the next video.